Hi everyone. Okay, so today, solving radical inequalities. I talked about solving radical equations, but now I want to talk about inequalities. So inequalities is where you've got the less than and greater than equal signs. It's not just equals because those are equations. So talking about inequalities, again, you've got a series of steps, right? Very similar to radical equations, because you've got if the index of the root is even, identify the values of the variable for which the radicand is non-negative. Alright, okay, so basically saying, so if it's a square root, that's an even index, right, because that's the index of the power 2. Then you want to see when this is non-negative, basically when are those values going to be positive, and then 2, solve algebraically, so solve as you normally would, just like we did for radical equations, and then 3, check your solution. Okay, so basically you plug it back in and see what works. And now checking your solution here, I guess I should probably put it in parentheses, that this is testing values. Specifically, you are testing values. Wow, testing values. Okay, so let me do an example and then you'll see what I'm talking about. So here's an example. Let's say we've got 2 plus the square root of 4y minus 4, and this is less than or equal to 6. Now, regular rules of inequalities also apply. So remember your algebraic rules for inequalities, dividing by negative and all that. Alright, so you'll see as I work through this. So here I've got a radical, or an nth root, and here my nth root is of 2. And I want to solve when is this going to be less than or equal to 6. Okay, well, it's an even root, alright? So because it's the nth root, this nth root told you it was 2. Right, because it's a square root. Square roots mean that we're taking it, our n is 2. So and then in our steps here, it says when it's non-negative. So first things first, I want 4y minus 4. So this is from step 1. Okay, I want this to be greater than or equal to 0 because I want this when this is non-negative. The thing is, when it's the reason why this only applies for an index of the root that is even is because I don't want any complex numbers. We only want real solutions. So if it's less than 0, then I have a negative inside of my square root. And then I'm going to have a complex solution. That's not what we want. We want real solutions. Alright, so first things first, step 1, I have 4y minus 4 is greater than or equal to 0. So, well, we can actually omit the square root because I want what's inside. Alright, so let me go ahead and erase that. So this, we don't need that. That's going to just be 4y minus 4. Because again, I just want the inside to be positive, non-negative. Positive and 0, which is what means non-negative. That's what non-negative means. Alright, so let's solve for y. Plus 4 on both sides. I'm going to show all my steps. Alright, okay, so just in case you need a refresher of algebra. So divide by 4, divide by 4. This goes away, so I have y is greater than or equal to 1. Alright, that's my first step. Alright, step 2. Alright, solve algebraically. So here, alright, oh wow, I'm going all over the place today. Okay, so step 2, I'll go ahead and write that here. So step 2, solve it as I normally would. So the square root of 4y minus 4 is less than or equal to 6. Okay. And then, so move the 2 to the other side. The 2 to the other side. This goes away. We're just left with 4y minus 4 on this side. And then 6 minus 2, that's 4. Okay. And then to get rid of the radical, so algebraically what we did before, let's go ahead and square both of those sides. Square the left-hand side to get rid of the radicand. And I have 4y minus 4 on this side is less than or equal to 4 squared, which is 16. Okay, now let's get y by itself. Add 4 to both sides. This goes away, 16 plus 4, we get 20 is less than or equal to 4y. Bring that down. Divide the 4. Then I have y is less than or equal to 20 divided by 4 is 5. Alright, so in step 1 and in step 2, I'm really sorry guys that this is messy. Okay, so here is a possible solution. Here is another solution. Step 1 and step 2 are all over the place. Okay. Okay. Y is greater than or equal to 1. Y is less than or equal to 5. So we did step 1. Steps 1 and 2, they actually tell us where we're kind of going to find where our solutions are going to be. Alright, step 3, checking your solution. Now this is like, we're going to hit jackpot. So testing the values. Okay, so because you want to see which one is going to work. Alright, because you have two solutions, 1 and 5. Now what do you mean? What do I mean which one is going to work? So in step 3, a visual helps first off. Alright. So, because solutions is when you visualize it, you'll be able to see where on the number line your solutions are going to fall. Okay, so here, let's first label 1, and then let's label 5. Now, testing values means that it's either in 3 places. Alright, your solution is either going to be less than 1, so possible solutions. You have less than 1. Then you have in between 1 and 5. And you have greater than 5. Okay, but it's equal to, so it's probably going to be less than or equal to, so it's also equal as well. Alright, and then in between, these are the values you want to test. Okay, probably is too much information. Okay, so let's see what solutions are going to work. Now, usually less than 1 and greater than 5, they'll be together, or it will be between 1 and 5. So this and this are usually together, whereas this one will usually stand alone. Okay, so let's see. So let's test a value. So let's test our values now. So testing, we'll put it here. So testing, I will choose a value less than 1. Alright, which I'm going to let x equal to 0. So the testing values that we're going to do is at x equal to 0. So I'm going to test that here. For x equal to 0, I've got, what? We have put it back in our OG equation. So it's 2 plus square root of 4 times 4 minus 4. Now what you're checking for is that less than or equal to 6? That's what you're checking for. So it's 2 plus, and then you got 0 minus 4, you have negative 4. Is that going to be less than 6? Well, first thing first, you already have a problem. It's negative 4. And then step 1, we already said that, like, we put our foot down. We're like, okay, it has to be greater than or equal to 0. This is negative, so already this x equals 0 thing won't work. So, no, we're not going to have this. So this can't work. Alright, next thing is let's check between 1 and 5. Let's check the next one over. So let's see what's the testing value, what's a good value to choose. Let's do x equals 2 instead. So, and let me also scooch my whiteboard a bit down so there's more space. Okay, so for x equals to 2, we'll have 2 plus, let's put our OG equation, so 4 times 2 minus 4. Is that less than or equal to 6? Now this is what I'm testing for. So it's 2 plus 8 minus 4, so that's 4. Is that less than or equal to 6? What do we get? We get 2 plus 2. That equals to 4, which is indeed less than 6. So this works. So x equals 2 works. And testing one value is more than enough, alright? So less than, let me try to put it with another color. Less than 1 didn't work, but in between 1 and 5 worked. Now let's try greater than 5. Right now I'm going to go down a little bit. Let me scooch down some more. Okay, so now let's test a value greater than 5. You can go as big as you want. You can go up to 100, whatever, as long as it's greater than 5. So let's see, what will I choose? I'll choose 12. Alright, I'm going to let x equal to 12. Alright, so for x, so this was our first testing value. Here was our second testing value. And now let's try for our third testing value. Alright, so for x equal to 12, let's put it back into our original equation. We get 2 plus the square root of, 4 times 12 minus 4. Is that less than or equal to 6? So I will do 2 plus It's 12 times 4 is 48. 48 minus 4 is 44. And I get 2 plus, so that's going to be 2 root 11. And you can plug that into your calculators. Alright, so 2 plus 2 root 11, you'll get that you get 2 plus 6.33, when you round, and then you'll see that this equals 8.33, and is that less than or equal to 6 is the question that you've got to ask. Well, obviously not. This can't work as well. So, finally, we can say that for values that are greater than 5, okay, that they can't work either. So my solution set is only within 1 to 5, including, because our original equation, if you'll see up here, you see it's 2 plus the square root of 4y minus 4 is less than or equal to 6. So it's less than or equal to. So my final solution, after we tested our values, we'll get, so right here, final solution. It's going to be, so our variable was y. It's all the y's in between 1 and 5. And I'm writing it in set notation, so it's 1 less than or equal to y, which is less than or equal to 5. And this is what you would write out as your final answer. And if you needed your answer to be drawn, well then here is your number line. Alright, let me just redraw it here. Okay, so you have 1 and then you have 5. Since it is equal to, you would include those points, so they're closed circles, and it goes all the way from 1 to 5. Okay? And that's how you would draw it on your number line. Okay, and thank you for watching. I hope this helped.